Okay, good morning. So we're learning our final blue skill, and that's base run patterns. We're going to look at this chart. See, we've got a lot of tab today. And this was created by our wonderful Dr. Least at a conference several years ago, and she has graciously shared it with us. So some reminders. So again, we're in tab. So the reminders of being that these lines on the staff refer to the strings on our guitar, with our 1 string being at top and our 6 string being on the bottom. So if we look at this very first measure, just actually kind of looking throughout, you'll see that the chord symbols, right, are written above different measures. So let's look just at these first 2 measures. We've got D written above, so we know we stay on D until we are told to change to another chord. We're going to be in the key of D today as well. So let's look at these first 2 measures. So reminders about tab. So the number refers to the fret, and what line that it is on refers to what string you push down in what fret. So let's look at this first example we've got here, the 2, 3, 2. That means on line 1, you've got this string pressed down, right? Or I'm sorry, on line 1 or string 1, we've got the number 2 is there. So looking at your sheet, I'm going to put mine down. So we know we've got to press this one down. We see the 2 come up twice, here and here. So strings 1 and 3 are pressing down the 2nd fret. And we've also got that 3 over there. Boop. And because they're all stacked together, that means we're going to pluck those or play those at the same time. So what this is the D chord. That 2, 3, 2, if you've not already figured that out, that is your D chord. You see the zeros or the O's, depending how you want to think of that. It means we need to play that string, but it's open, meaning we don't have to press anything down anywhere. And that makes sense if you think about what we're about to do. So what we're about to do is a bass run within the root alternate plucking pattern. So if we know our root is that 4th string, or that open string as the chart tells us, then we've got root, pluck, alternate, pluck, root, pluck. So that's the first 3 uses of the chord. Then we see that 4, 2. So I'm in the 2nd measure in the 2nd half. And we see that on our 5th string, it says 4, 2. That means we're going up to our 4th fret and down to our 2nd fret. So that's our walk down. So let's just do those first 2 measures. So we've got root, pluck, alternate, pluck, root, pluck, walk, down. Then that takes us to our A7. So we see we start with then the root of our A7 chord. So again, that's what's happening here, right? We've got our open string, 2nd fret, open string, 2nd fret. That's just making our A7 chord is what we've got there. The primary thing we need to be keeping an eye on are the notes that are by themselves, because essentially what these other R's are, they're our chord. We're just going to play our chord. So let's look then at the first 3 measures so we can get that walk down into the A7. So starting again with measure 1 on our D chord, root. So let me make a D chord. There we go. Root, pluck, alternate, pluck, root, pluck, walk, down, A7. So that's our open, then our A7, alternate, pluck, root, pluck, walk back up, 2, 4, open, D. So that's that entire first line. I'm going to play it one more time, then I encourage you to pause and play that first line by yourself. So you can hear that first line one more time. It goes like this. And root, pluck, alternate. good time to pause and try that first line on your own. Otherwise, I'm going to move to the second line, so we're starting with D again. This time, between our second and third measure, we're walking up to a G, so we've got a 0, 2, 3, so that's going to be a different walk up. But starting on second line, first measure on D. Okay, note this one. 4, 2, open. And let's look just a little bit at that one, because I think that one does look a little confusing on this, because there are some notes. So where I'm looking now is second line, measure 4, and we're looking at in between measures 4 and 5. You see there's a 4 and a 2 with arrows. We want to play those, but they are mistakenly on the 4th string when they should be on the 5th string. And you'll see that later if you look, actually if you just look on the line directly below it, it is written in there or typed in there correctly. So, well, mirror imaging is weird. So this right here, the 4 and 2 should actually be, ignore this, the 4 and 2 should actually be on the 5th string, just as it appears right there. That is what this should look like on the 5th string. So let's try that again. So again, I am on the second line, starting with that D. So root. Fifth string, 4, 2, open. There we go. All right, take a pause and try the second line on your own. Otherwise, we're going to start from the beginning and do both lines together. 1 and 2 and ready, play D and. Okay, we'll look at line 3 now, starting on our A7 chord. This time we're transitioning from an A7 to a G. So let's look at that. Line 3, A7. Okay, one more time, line 3. Okay, this is a good time to pause and try line 3 on your own. Otherwise, we're going to go back to this beginning and do all 3 lines. 1 and 2 and ready, play D and. G, Quick confession, I realized on line 2, where that confusing part is with the arrows, I actually did not move down a fret, or down a string, and I forgot and left it on string 4. Although I kind of liked it, because then that way you were able to stay on the same string for the D, but I'll leave that up to you. All right, final line, and all this final line is, it's the D chord, but it's fading out. You'll see although it takes up the entire space, it's actually only half as long as the other 3 lines. So we're just finding a way to fade out on this D chord. So what that looks like and sounds like. One thing to point out on that second measure on the last line, that 2 on the 6th string, we've talked a lot about this creeper thumb. And this is where that creeper thumb will really come in handy, because I just come around for that 2 on the 6th string, I just press it down with my thumb. Also in that final measure, you'll see the 3 and the 0. You can play them both at the same time. You don't have to. Part of me wonders if that isn't a typo. So you're welcome to just do the 0, 2, 3, 2. That seems to fade out. Makes a little more sense, but the 0 does sound nice with it as well. So one more time, that last line. All right, let's try the whole thing. 1 and 2 and ready, play D. Second line. Third line. Last line.